Out of the chaos comes order. We process the raw materials that build the future. The roof swings open, and the crane lowers the massive scrap bucket into the searing heart of the furnace.
The electric arc furnace ignites, generating temperatures exceeding 3,000 degrees Celsius.
Molten steel, glowing at thousands of degrees, is tapped from the EAF into a waiting ladle, ready for the next stage of production. Suspended above the floor, the molten charge begins its journey, a fiery river guided by the crane. Secondary refining takes place in the ladle furnace. Here, the mill operator adjusts the alloy composition using the control panel before adding crucial slag and flux.
The molten steel is now fed into the continuous casting machine, initiating the crucial solidification process.
The continuous casting process begins as the molten steel meets the water-cooled mold. The exterior rapidly solidifies, forming the billet shell.
An automated oxyacetylene torch rapidly slices the glowing steel billet into precise, uniform commercial lengths for transport. The newly cut, still red-hot steel billets are automatically indexed and stacked onto a cooling bank. The thermal scan confirms uniformity. We need consistent heat distribution before the billets move to the furnace.
The cool steel billets are pushed into the reheat furnace for uniform heating, reaching temperatures of up to 1,200 degrees Celsius.
Inside the reheat furnace, steel billets are heated to over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, preparing them for the hot rolling mill.
The billet, now uniformly heated to a brilliant orange red, is ejected from the furnace, ready for the rolling mill stands.
Here the steel enters the first set of heavy-duty rolling stands, being severely compressed and elongated under immense pressure.
To maintain continuous operation, the bar is looped to compensate for speed variations between the mill stands.
The intermediate mill stands apply immense pressure, forcefully compressing the searing hot steel. With each pass, high-pressure water jets blast the surface of the hot rebar, effectively removing the scale before the finishing passes. Here in the finishing mill, the intense pressure of the rolls deforms the metal, creating the vital ribs required for construction. Here, the massive rollers rapidly deform the glowing steel, etching the crucial reinforcement ribs into the bar at high speed.
Traveling at extreme speed, the brilliant red strand exits the finishing mill and hits the cooling bed. As the superheated rebar hits the water jets, the surface is rapidly quenched, leaving the core intensely hot. The quenched rebar is rapidly transferred from the high-speed conveyor onto the cooling bed for controlled cooling.
As the glowing rebar moves across the cooling bed, it gradually loses its heat, shifting from vibrant red to deep. The operator verifies the temperature with the pyrometer, ensuring the cooling process is complete before cutting.
The cooled rebar is automatically gathered into a tight bundle, ready for the massive shear.
With a powerful hydraulic groan, the massive shear descends, delivering a sharp, decisive crunch as it cuts the steel to its final length.
Here we see the finished product, clearly identified with the required grade and manufacturer marks stamped precisely onto the steel. Once cut, the rebar is automatically positioned and tightly wrapped with wire banding by the robotic bundler.
From our production line to the heart of your project, these bundles represent the strength and reliability we guarantee. They are ready for immediate shipment. Here we use the universal testing machine to determine the rebar's tensile capacity, ensuring every sample meets the highest safety standards.
As the load increases, the specimen deforms plastically, eventually reaching the breaking point with a sudden, catastrophic failure.
Mill operator marks the finished rebar bundles with color-coded tags, indicating the strength grade, for example, grade 60.
The finished rebar bundles are now loaded onto a flatbed truck, ready for transport to the construction site.
And so the final product leaves the mill, carrying the strength that will soon become the foundation of progress.
The magnetic crane rhythmically swings, dropping tons of scrap into the charging buckets.
The rhythm of the melt begins. The electric arc strikes with unparalleled force, turning scrap into steel.
At 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, the liquid steel flows like a river of fire, ready for the next stage of production. The walking beams move in a precise rhythm, pushing the billets deeper into the intense heat of the furnace. This is the roughing stage, where the glowing steel is compressed and elongated under thousands of tons of pressure.
The finishing mill transforms raw steel into rebar at speeds exceeding belief, a torrent of heat and power.
The cooling bed utilizes a rhythmic motion to evenly cool the rebar, transforming it from incandescent white hot to stable black.
Groan. Crunch. The steel must yield to the power of the shear.
The automated bundling system operates with unwavering rhythm, ensuring every rebar stack is securely sealed for transit. The rhythmic clunk of the automated stacker signals another bundle completed, ensuring continuous flow in the fabrication process.
Rough texture and rust. This is the raw material of a new age, scarred but unbroken. The electric arc furnace demands immense power. These massive electrodes carry the charge, and as they near the scrap,
This is the heart of the furnace, where the raw iron is transformed into steel at temperatures exceeding 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
the uniform cross-section of the billet ensures consistent quality throughout the process.
This reheat furnace operates at extreme temperatures, preparing the steel billets for the next stage of rolling.
Utilizing immense pressure, the rolls shape the glowing slab, a testament to industrial strength and precision. The looping process ensures the structural integrity of the rebar, rapidly cooling the steel as it moves towards the finishing mill.
The characteristic rebar ribs are formed at extreme temperatures, ensuring maximum tensile strength.
Flippins. As the glowing metal shifts and settles on the cooling bed, the sharp clatter and rattle echo through the mill. This is the culmination of precision engineering, the Q400 shear making short work of the toughest alloys.
The bundling wire seal is executed with high-speed precision, followed by the heat sealing mechanism, which ensures a flawless weld. The macro view highlights the rough, gritty texture and the precision of the helical ribs, crucial for the bond with concrete. The rebar reaches its ultimate tensile strength, causing necking and then a sudden, violent rupture at the failure point.
With the hook securely fastened, the finished rebar bundles are hoisted, ready for the next stage of transport. The charging bucket is loaded with a precise mixture of scrap, soon to be melted down in the electric arc furnace. The EAF slowly tilts to pour off the waste slag layer before tapping the molten steel. The furnace blast signified the steel's rebirth. The billet is now ready for the mill. The roughing mill applies immense pressure, shearing the scale from the incandescent billet. Moving at incredible velocity, the hot steel is shaped and refined by the rolling stands.
The finishing mill operates at speeds exceeding 80 meters per second, transforming the billet into precision rebar.
The quenching box rapidly cools the molten steel, generating superheated steam as the rebar continues down the line.
Here, the red-hot steel begins its journey across the cooling bed, shedding the furnace's heat in a haze of steam.
The cut length is measured with specialized equipment, Once the reading is verified against the specifications, the data is logged for quality assurance. Utilizing advanced robotics, we achieve unparalleled efficiency in securing the rebar bundles with a high-strength galvanized wire.
The finished bundles are secured with a precise wire wrap. This grade tag confirms they meet the highest standards.
The data stream confirms the material integrity. We must maintain absolute precision at every stage of testing.
With the tension applied, the final step is to crimp the seal tightly, securing the load against any movement during transit.
The electro-arc furnace demands power on an unprecedented scale. These transformers are the relentless heart of the operation. The Tundish slide gate precisely controls the flow of molten steel, ensuring a steady stream into the caster mold below.
This conveyor system ensures a constant flow of superheated metal into the reheat furnace.
The rolling mill stands gradually reduce the thickness of the steel slab, increasing its length through immense pressure and heat.
The operator must constantly monitor the looping table, adjusting the tension to keep the superheated steel perfectly stable as it moves through the mill. Precise alignment of the finishing mill rolls is critical for maintaining product tolerance. The operator must ensure the gaps are set correctly before resuming production.
This incandescent streak of rebar travels blindingly fast across the rollers, maintaining its intense heat before reaching the cooling bed.
The cooling bed racks slowly lift and index the rebar sideways, ensuring a uniform cooling process.
The bundle wire dispenser applies heavy gauge banding with unmatched precision. The automated system ensures maximum stability, precisely placing the finished rebar bundle onto the stack.
The technician conducts the final bend test to ensure the rebar meets the required standards for ductility and flexibility.
The finished rebar bundles must be secured tightly together on the bed of the transport truck to ensure safety during transit.
Every movement must be precise when working with molten steel.
The electromagnet engages, lifting tons of scrap effortlessly before releasing it with a resounding clang onto the pile below.
Here we see the molten steel skimming operation. The mechanical arm removes the slag, preparing the ladle for casting. Maintaining optimal water flow is crucial for the continuous casting process. We are currently operating at peak efficiency.
Inside the reheat furnace, billets are heated uniformly to the required rolling temperature, ensuring optimal malleability for the next stage.
The roughing mill reduces the slab's thickness, preparing it for the finishing stands.
Exiting the very last set of finishing rolls. The final ribs shine intensely red in the finishing mill.
Designed for heavy-duty applications, the shear delivers unmatched power.
The strength of the structure depends on the tension of the bond. In this environment, precision is everything.
The final bundle of rebar is placed, completing the stack. These finished goods are now ready for distribution across the globe.
Day and night, these machines ensure the continuous flow of finished product.
In the heart of the mill, where shadow meets fire, we forge the future, one blinding hot beam at a time. The reheat furnace brings the steel to its optimal temperature before the first stand begins the reduction process.
The rebar must slowly traverse the cooling bed, allowing the intense heat to dissipate evenly before the next stage.
With a powerful groan, the hydraulics engage, ensuring a clean and decisive cut every time. Lifting these finished bundles requires immense power.
showcasing the sheer scale of our operation here at the mill.
Everything we build requires a strong foundation. We carry that responsibility with us towards the horizon. The electric arc furnace reaches temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, transforming raw materials into the steel that builds our world.
This is the moment of transformation. The final pour must be perfect, down to the very last drop.
The mill stands ready, spinning at incredible speeds, anticipating the next billet of molten steel.
As the last bars cool, the rhythmic scraping ensures an even temperature across the metal.
Precision engineering for unparalleled structural integrity. This is the future of building.
This intricate skeleton, though hidden, is the foundation of our modern world. It is the promise of what is to come.